A scathing report reveals Victoria wasted more than $500 million in taxpayers' money because it did not receive frank and full advice on the Commonwealth Games. Victoria political reporter Simon Love is in Melbourne. Simon, what does the Auditor General's report say?
It is a scathing report. It was released just after Parliament began sitting here in Melbourne this morning, and it particularly takes aim at the cost estimates that the government had placed on the Commonwealth Games, and also it reveals the total cost that the Auditor General believes the Games have been to the state of Victoria. As we digest the report, some of the key quotes and findings from the Auditor General are right at the start when the auditor said that they concluded that the total cost of the Games to Victorians is more than $589 million. The auditor says this waste could have been avoided if agencies had worked together and better to give frank and full advice to the government before it decided to host the Games. The auditor also went on to say that the government underestimated the costs and overstated the benefits, saying that the departments of Jobs, as well as Premier and Cabinet and Treasury and Finance knew this, but did not advise government to delay a decision on hosting the Commonwealth Games. There's been two recommendations from the Auditor General. One has certainly been to work with the Victorian Public Sector Commission to conduct a review into why public service advice was not followed by the government. Now, that recommendation has not been accepted by the government. The one that's been accepted by the Allen government has been an analysis of all key documents from the public sector and also giving full and frank advice on these sorts of things, and also updating documents to close any gaps, remove any barriers in major decisions such as this. Now, of course, this investigation was one of a few inquiries that had been initiated into the decision which came in July last year by the then Premier Daniel Andrews to cancel the 2026 Commonwealth Games. Premier Andrews argued that $6.9 billion was far too much for a 12-day sporting event. Well, in this report today, the Auditor General says that cost estimate was, quote, overstated and not transparent. And that's the sentiment that's been shared by the Shadow Finance Minister in Victoria, Jess Wilson.
This is just another example of the Allen Labor government not being able to manage money, and another example of a lack of transparency, secrecy. This was a commitment made in the lead up to the election. It didn't have the planning required, and Victorian taxpayers are paying the consequences of that.
Although the Department of Premier and Cabinet and the government have responded to this Auditor General's report, the Premier will be under pressure to explain the cost estimates, given that Jacinta Allen was, of course, the Commonwealth Games delivery minister in the Andrews ministry.
Simon Love, thank you.